Hello guys, welcome back to your English class. Today I'm going to explain you the activities from your book. In this case we're going to do the activities from the unit 6 that it's called Anecdotes, Objectives Expressing Continuous Actions in the Past, Interrogative Statements. Now, the first activity, it says that read text and answer the questions below. Now, in this part we have a conversation between two people, Jim and Tim, and when we finish reading, we have to complete these 6 questions with information from the conversation. Now, I'm going to read the conversation. Here we go. It says, the fastest man is here. And we go back to the Olympic Stadium with the interview to the new world champion, Jay Allen. Hi Jay, how are you today? I'm fine. A little tired, but I'm fine. Well, now, you are a world champion. What's your secret? My secret? It is not easy, but I train a lot. I was training hard last month. Where were you training? I was training in Australia. The hot and dry conditions are similar to these ones here. What is your diet? What were you eating during your training? I was eating a lot of fiber and meat, but I ate some snacks too. And why were you training with Barry Garrick, the former champion? I wanted to train with the best, and Barry was living in Australia at that time. I asked him for some advice, and he decided to teach me his techniques. This is amazing. One last question. Why were you slowing down at the end of the race? I was following the advice Barry gave me. I was slowing down because I had to be careful with my old injury. Oh, thanks a lot, my friend. Okay, now with the questions. We have 6 questions. The first question says, 1. Who is Jay Allen? Number 2. What is the secret of his success? 3. Where was he training? 4. Did he have a specific diet? 5. Who was he training with? And 6. What was he doing by the end of the race? The idea is you have to complete with information these questions. Okay? Now, in this case, we have to continue with exercise 6.2. It says, write the questions for the given answers. Follow the example. The first sentences, the answer is, I was preparing for the race. The question, were you preparing for this race? Now, in this case, you have to complete the questions. The idea is you have to read the answers and then write the correct question. For example, in the first one it says, no, they weren't cleaning the parking lot. Okay? The question, it could be, were they cleaning the parking lot? Were they cleaning the parking lot? No, they weren't cleaning the parking lot. Number 2. Yes, she was dancing. The question, was she dancing? Was she dancing? Number 3. No, they weren't playing video games. The question, were they playing video games? Were they playing video games? And you have to complete number 4 and 5 by yourself. Okay, don't forget that we're going to check the past progressive or past continuous in question 4. For example, was Henry studying in his house yesterday? What were you doing in the school? And also you can say it again, and you can use while and when to identify a specific moment in the time. For example, were you cooking when the postman arrived? What was she doing while you talked with your father? Okay, don't forget that we're going to check interrogative statements. Now, on exercise 6.6, it says, use the verbs in brackets to correct form of the verb to be and write the questions. Follow the example. In this case, you have 8 sentences, and on the first part, you have to write the auxiliary. Is it was or were? depending on the subject. And next you have to write the verb that you have in brackets in ing. For example, was your wife cooking last night? Was auxiliary, cooking ing, cooking. Okay, you have to complete the rest. For example, in number 1, the man shooting. Was the man shooting? Was the man shooting? Number 2, the women. The women, it's plural, so you have to say were the women looking at the dresses? Were the women looking at the dresses? Number 3, the girls. Were the girls swimming? Were the girls swimming? And number 4, the dog. The dog is singular, so you have to say was the dog stealing a hamburger? Was the dog stealing a hamburger? You have to complete 5, 6, 7, and 8 by yourself. And the last activity, 6.8, use the verbs in brackets to form sentences in past progressive, affirmative, negative, or interrogative. The idea is you have to write some activities that were happening in a hotel. Okay, some of them are questions, some are infinitive, and some of them are in negative. You have to be careful what could be the correct question. For example, the first one, it says what happened in the hotel at 9 o'clock yesterday morning. It's a question, so you have to say what was happening in the hotel at 9 o'clock yesterday morning. So the first answer, some guests, positive, some guests were eating breakfast. Some guests were eating breakfast. Number 2, some children, positive, some children were playing cards. Some children were playing cards. The next one, a man, positive, a man was reading a newspaper. A man was reading a newspaper. Now another man, positive, another man was talking on his mobile. Another man was talking on his mobile. Now we have what the girls do. It's a question. What were the girls doing? What were the girls doing? The first one, the girls, positive, the girls were sitting, double T, the girls were sitting at the computers. Number 2, they, negative, they weren't playing games. A woman, positive, a woman was speaking to the manager. And the last one, it's a question. Laughing, she. Was she laughing? Was she laughing? No, she looked very angry. So you have to complete just the last 3, 1, 2, and 3 by yourself. Now, in your workbook, you have to complete 5 exercises, okay? The first exercises. Exercise 6.1. Scramble these words to make the correct questions. For example, in this part you have to move them and make the correct question. For example, in number 8, it says, athletes' food were eating specific. You have to say, were athletes eating a specific food? Were athletes eating a specific food? Number 2, listening, what was he to? You have to say, what was he listening to? What was he listening to? What was he listening to? Number 6, he looking at for a job. The WTC was. So you have to say, was he looking for a job at the WTC? Was he looking for a job at the WTC? And the last one, was she her bedroom painting? Why? The question, why was she painting her bedroom? Why was she painting her bedroom? And you have to complete the rest. Okay, now on exercise 6.3 you have to make questions. In this part I'm just going to read you the answers, and according with the answers you have to write on the line the correct question or the possible question. For example, number 1, yes, they were playing in the park. Number 2, I was studying in my house last weekend. Number 3, she was dancing with her friend. Number 4, Barry was running the marathon. And 5, we were drinking soda. Okay, and you have to complete the questions. Now, on exercise 6.4, it says match the questions with the answers below. Write the correct number in parentheses. In this case, you have 10 questions and you have 10 possible answers. The idea is you have to write the number from the question in the correct parentheses. For example, it says 1. What was she doing last summer? Where were you studying languages? Was Tony skating with the rest of the boys? Were they singing with the band? Why was he buying so many compact discs? What was she painting on the wall? Was she cooking pasta last night? Were you trying to break a record? Why were they practicing so hard? And when were you reading the book? Now, where you have to delete H is wrong in this part. Now, the answers. Because he was popping his files. Yes, I was. No, they weren't. She was training for the competition. Because they were practicing in a tournament. Yes, he was. No, he was preparing a salad. At night, at my university, she was painting a landscape. Okay? And you have to match them with the right number. Now, on exercise 6.6, you have to write in the exercises in the first part the auxiliary. Is it was or were? And the verb that you have in brackets in ing. For example, number 10, Tyler, help. Was Tyler helping with the cooking? Was Tyler helping with the cooking? Number 9, the friends, plural. Were the friends coming home from school? Were the friends coming home from school? Number 8, he, singular. Was he doing judo? Was he doing judo? And number 7, the girl, singular. Was the girl opening the window? Was the girl opening the window? And you have to complete the rest. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And the last part, exercise 6.8. Change the verbs from the box into ing form and place them in the correct space. Follow the example. In this case, you have different verbs in the box. Send, read, ask, leave, make, look, sit, take, visit, write, and clean. And the idea is you have to complete the questions with the verbs in ing. For example, 1. Was she the museum? Visit. Was she visiting the museum? Number 2. Were you with a pencil? Write. Were you writing with a pencil? And number 3. Were the boys comics? Were the boys read? Were the boys reading comics? Were the boys reading comics? And was Kimberly questions? Was Kimberly making questions? And you have to complete the rest. Okay, guys, and that's all. Thanks for watching this video. I hope that you're okay. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.